It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show. Yeah. Y'all must have forgot I'm on my Roy Jones. Flow terminally ill, talking full blown. The Ghost Rider, I wrote the script to your tombstone. Kill your favorite rappers in tandems, call it a group home. I've been keeping it discreet, but this shit ain't sweet. Once I hit my motor, start to reach. Niggas shit they breach. I got songs in like 200 shows, but I gotta lead. Pull a nigga name up on the sheet and it's Bon Appetit. Fucking with the wrong one, I hope you got a strong gun. They verse I'm going on them, they call me the Shogun. Pull a beat, 15 minutes, bet I get this song done. I can't trust a rap nigga that's stepping with his toes done. Fuck him out. Shout the Lord done it all. I'm Barry Sanders. I'm juking niggas from the coin toss. I'ma run the ball. That's 6 points. I get the money off the ripple when my pinpoints. Pinpoint precision. Envision me on my rich boy. D's on the bit. Trigger finger if it's itchy. I might squeeze on the flip. Bullets coming with a name. Let you bleed on the tip. Put a nigga in the box. Then I'm fleeing on the trip. I'm too king for me to slip. I want Parmesan. I Parmesan. I walk in the alarms on. I'm barking like a dog. And now your bones are what I'm chomping on. Sundown, bitch. I'm back to bending like it's Ramadan. Yo, 15 minutes was broad, it's like a calling card. No mean to ramble, this shit is like a free sample. I'm here to make an example, these appetizers ain't ample enough. Fire like a candle, I'm up, right from the panel I jump. Back in this shit, entertaining y'all on my channel, I'm the main event. Learn to use my voice so I could pay the rent. Nigga talking shit behind the phone that they ain't pay to get. Drop and give me 50, nigga, I get on my trainer shit. I don't do no freestyle, tell me I get paid to spit. Just wanted to open up the show with one more receipt, you know what I'm saying? Nothing too big. You know, big shout out to Chapo. He sent this tweet out earlier today. He says, shout out to Screw and Nolan. Love Chapo. And I believe Chapo has a new album that's about to drop tonight at midnight. So be on the lookout for that. Always great, you know, to be acknowledged by the people that we talk about, especially when it's a positive, you know what I'm saying? Because some people take things a little bit to the left sometimes and get out their body. But Chapo showing nothing but love. Hopefully we'll be able to arrange that conversation at some point soon. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well this Thursday afternoon going into the evening. We do have an update on Drake news as it pertains to his ongoing dispute with UMG. You know, he's got the lawsuit against them. We've been covering this for quite some time now, but new updates have been submitted into the docket. We're going to get into that. It seems that himself and UMG have conferred. They had a private call, and looks like they've gone over the details of what Drake has in his lawsuit. They went over UMG's pushback and their resistance and their their own rebuttals to the lawsuit. They've created some sort of I won't say agreement, but they've come to some sort of understanding as to what each of them are feeling privately before they got to the courts, before they submitted more paperwork. And they've submitted a joint letter to the courts basically outlining the areas in which they agree and the areas in which they don't. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull up this paperwork, and it seems that Drake will be submitting a new amended version of his lawsuit in the coming weeks. So expect that to happen very soon. But let's go over what they've discussed, at least what they've discussed and have allowed the courts to know about. All right, United States District Court, Southern District of New York, Aubrey Drake Graham, plaintiff versus UMG Recordings Incorporated. It's still surreal to see this like really on paperwork, seeing that they're head to head, especially seeing everything that UMG has invested into Drake over the last 15 years, everything that they've done for him, all of the incredible highs that he's experienced in his career. I don't think he would have seen it anywhere else outside of the UMG umbrella, but you know, it's a little bit too late to reminisce on that. So they say joint meet and confer letter. In accordance with this court's order on January 22nd, 2025, plaintiff Aubrey Drake Graham and defendant UMG Recordings through undersigned counsel conferred via telephone conference on March 10th, 2025. Remember, UMG was trying to get out of having these conversations. They really didn't want to talk to him. They wanted to just keep busting his head paperwork wise. But they say the parties respectfully submit this joint letter. The parties agreed that nothing in this letter constitutes a waiver of any kind, including as to any party's right to propound discovery not described in this report, or as to any objection to any discovery described in this report. So both of them still pretty much remain their stance, but they have spoken. The parties' joint position on issues where they were able to reach agreement and their respective positions where they were not are set forth below. So number one, the nature of the case. The order requires a brief statement on the nature of the action and the principal defenses thereto. Plaintiff's position, which the plaintiff here is Drake. Beginning on May 4th, 2024 and continuing every day since. They say every day since, because Not Like Us came out on May 4th and has been a daily staple in the culture. They say the self-proclaimed largest music company in the world and the company that has represented plaintiff over 10 years has defamed plaintiff by publishing and promoting content that asserts plaintiff is a PDF and S offender. He's still on this. He's not moving on this. But give it up, nigga. The sooner you give it up, the sooner people might actually try to move on. You still want to stick to this thing. You're not in Jay-Z's position. You're not going through what Jay-Z went through. Let it go. You got fans that want to listen to your music for whatever reason. They still trying to push some sexy songs for you. Why not focus on that? Why not focus on the next project? Why not win your fans back? Niggas will stop calling you the shit on Not Like Us sooner if you stop repeating it. Anyway, plaintiff has unequivocally denied these allegations publicly and privately to UMG. UMG never said you was. And at all times, defendant knew the defamatory material was false. It's still hard to read this shit when we already know the truth. You defamed that man first. You didn't like when it came. It don't make sense. It don't make sense, bro. I gotta stop. I want to read this shit, but I gotta stop because this is what happens. Like say you're a pitcher and you pitching in a game and you purposely hit a nigga with 103 mile an hour fastball. Purposely. You know, number one, because he can knock that bitch out the park. And for two, you just have a personal vendetta against him. And you like, nah, nigga, you ain't, nah. Take your ass to first base. Bow. 105 mile per hour fastball right in that nigga hip. If the nigga come back and decide to rush your ass, and we've seen it happen in plenty of baseball games, how do you then try to play victim? Or let's say the nigga don't rush your ass, but sometimes pitchers have to go up and go up to bat as well, depending on, you know, where they playing at and all that different type shit. And if they want to get subbed out for a pinch hitter and then they have to get a new pitcher for the rest of the game. But sometimes pitchers got to go up. Now, let's say you hit the opposite team's best hitter with 105 mile per hour fastball. And that pitcher on the other person team say, you know what? I'm finna get your ass back. And he hit you with 109 mile per hour fastball. Right in your motherfucking face. He didn't hit you in the hip like you did his teammate. He said, fuck that shit. I'm going for the head, nigga. Aim for the head. When I see him, go get him, nigga. Then you want to say, oh, well, I didn't hit him in the head. Nigga, the retaliation. You can't tell niggas how to react after you already have offended the situation. That's all I'm going to say. We're going to keep going. Because I think that this shit finna get even more ridiculous. Defendant also knew that allegations in the defamatory material were a gold mine. Ain't that about a bitch? Plaintiff is one of the biggest superstars in the world, and allegations that he was a pet published and promoted by the very company meant to represent him, although they represent Kendrick Lamar as well, were all but guaranteed to go viral and produce massive profits for defending. They still on this bullshit. Notwithstanding its knowledge that the allegations are fabricated to ensure the defamatory material went viral, UMG waged an unrelenting and widespread campaign to publish the defamatory material as widely as possible, starting no later than May 2024. UMG leveraged traditional publicity strategies such as licensing, social media, and traditional news outlets, which is their fucking responsibility as the label. Are they not supposed to do any of these things for one of their top artists? If you would have came with some hit material, they would have done the same for you. UMG also, on information and belief, spread the defamatory material through covert means, including removing copyright protections, purchasing fake streams, and engaging in other pay-for-play agreements. So what the fuck was the purpose of the conversation if you was gonna still come out and say the same ass shit? What are they putting in this man wine coolers, bro? UMG's plan to spread the defamatory material succeeded. The defamatory material has been heard and seen by billions with a B across around the globe, many of whom believe that the allegations are true. The reason why people believe the allegations are true is because there were already allegations out there before the song ever existed. All it did was put those allegations on Front Street. Same way you thought you was gonna pull a fast one and you was like, yeah, I got the ace in the hole, woman beater. You did. Remember that? Remember when some random ass person who I would assume was commissioned by either Drake or the DJ that don't spin. Remember when there was a whole website that was dedicated to that video of that it was a group of white kids. Well, they're not kids, but they were a group of white folks. So about 4 or 5 of them sitting on camera talking about, yeah, when Kendrick Lamar came out here, he had a girl leave his room all bloodied in the face. He had beaten her to a pulp. We've got footage. Remember that? Remember, it's a whole website. I covered that on my channel last year. I'm pretty sure those people were in commission with Drake. Just didn't work. Nobody believed it. So you feel some type of way. Anyway, online comments repeating and demonstrating belief in the allegations easily number in the hundreds of thousands. All over the world, people are calling for investigations of plaintiff by the police, the FBI, the CIA, likening plaintiff to convicted ex-offenders like Jeffrey Epstein. Didn't you put that in your own rap? On the fart part 6? And threatening, and in some instances committing violence against plaintiff. Please don't try to act like niggas have committed violence against you in the name of Kendrick Lamar. That shit that happened at your house was in connection to the motherfucking weekend. People are doing this not because they believe the allegations contained. What? People are doing this not because they believe the allegations contained in the defamatory material. Y'all took all the time to write this shit and still fucked it up. The spread and belief of these allegations would constitute defamation per se, have caused plaintiff reputational, financial, physical, and emotional harm. But you went on a tour. You went on a successful Australia, New Zealand tour. You chose to cancel them dates. You still had them bitches booked out. Your fans was mad. Yeah, you lost your little shoe with the Nike shit, but there was some old ass Nike looking shoes anyway. They wasn't even fly. Now I know the draconians out there are gonna be like, bro, you hate this man. I don't hate this nigga, bro. There's a lot of people that do. I don't hate this nigga. I just hate what he's doing. I hate how he's coming across. I hate how he's presenting himself. I hate the language that's being leveraged in this paperwork. I do hate all of that. I'm not gonna hold you. Within days of the initial publication of the defamatory material by UMG, which includes a doctored aerial picture of plaintiff's Toronto home, there was an armed attack. Here we go with the bullshit. At the same residence during which plaintiff's security guard was shot and nearly killed, the same way one of Weeknd's security guards was in the same predicament. Days after that, a different invader attempted to break into the Toronto property, and another trespasser got into a physical altercation with one of plaintiff's security guards. Then to find out your security was a fucking farce company makes it even more suspicious and timely. And they said that in your own fucking country. We didn't make this shit up. Your local news said that. These and the many other harms suffered by plaintiff were a reasonably foreseeable consequence of UMG's intentional course of conduct, particularly in today's environment where conspiracy theories spread rapidly online and give recent violence caused by false allegations, of sexual crimes against children. This shit is ridiculous. Plaintiff filed this suit on January 15, 2025 to hold defendant accountable for his decision to publish and promote lies about plaintiff. You mean the same way they published and promoted lies about Kendrick Lamar on push-ups, on motherfucking Family Matters for 6 minutes, and then came back and put out more lies about the nigga on the part 6? Mother I, oh shit, it all makes sense. And not a motherfucking thing made sense. The complaint asserts 3 causes of action: defamation, harassment in the second degree, and violation of Section 349 of the New York General Business Law 20236. The complaint seeks a variety of forms of relief, including but not limited to compensatory and punitive damages. So that's Drake's stance. It sounds the same as it's ever been. Now, defendant position as in UMG. They say plaintiff provoked, encouraged, and willingly participated in a high-profile rap battle with fellow rap artist Kendrick Lamar. Over the course of approximately 2 months in the spring of 2024, plaintiff and Lamar exchanged 9 increasingly vitriolic and incendiary diss tracks, sometimes responding within hours of each other. Lamar is widely seen to have won the rap battle. So y'all niggas had a talk and didn't discuss a motherfucking thing. Y'all niggas just said, bitch, I'm here. And I'm not moving. Both of y'all said the same shit to each other. Plaintiff and Lamar are both represented by defendant record label UMG. Plaintiff had no concerns using UMG's platform during the rap feud exactly to level incendiary attacks against Lamar, including most significantly that Lamar engaged in domestic abuse and that one of Lamar's business partners and managers and, let's not forget, best friend of fucking 2 decades is the true father of Lamar's son. Plaintiff also expressly goaded Lamar to talk about plaintiff liking young girls on Lamar's next track. Why would you ask me to say it if you ain't want me to say it? You said it. But now, having lost the rap battle, they still sticking to that. I love it. Plaintiff claims that the penultimate song in the feud, Not Like Us, including the related music video and album image, is defamatory. It is not. As detailed in UMG's motion to dismiss, when assessed in context as it must be, Not Like Us conveys non-actionable opinion and hyperbole, not fact, an issue that the court is to resolve as a matter of law. Plaintiff also cannot show that anyone at UMG published Not Like Us with actual malice as required to sustain the defamation claim. I know that's right, nigga. Plaintiff claims that Not Like Us constitutes harassment in the second degree, a criminal claim, which I still am confused about. You trying to file criminal charges about this shit, bruh. What? Big as the what? Big as the criminal claims? Big as the feds? What are we doing? And that UMG violated New York General Business Law 349 in promoting the recording and are equally and entirely meritless. The harassment claim falls on multiple independent grounds, including that there is no private right of action, and even if there was, plaintiff cannot meet the statutory and constitutional requirements to establish the claim, particularly in light of plaintiff's own use of lyrics that are at least as violent as those that he now complains of in Not Like Us. Remember all the gun bars and how he emptied the clip over friendlier jabs and which one of my so-called niggas need a shell from the clip and things of that nature. And as to the 349 claim, plaintiff has conceded that the centerpiece of that claim, i.e. that UMG used bots to stream Not Like Us, is baseless, such that plaintiff has expressly agreed to withdraw the allegations. So they still have a private agreement that has not been reflected in Drake's paperwork, that he's supposed to remove the bot talk from his lawsuit. We have no update on that, but it's possible that it could be changed. I don't think so, because even in their issue up top, they continue to say that UMG used bots. So it seems that although UMG has an understanding that they've agreed on that, it doesn't seem that Drake and his legal team concur. Plaintiffs' remaining allegations of payola are conclusory, speculative, and not cognizable, and are meritless in any event. Right? So both parties are pretty much still at a stalemate, to be honest. Really doesn't matter about the jurisdiction. I mean, they gonna figure that shit out. Whatever location they get this shit done. Venue, all this stuff. So they have a few deadlines here. The order requires a statement of all existing deadlines, due dates, and or cutoff dates. The parties are required to appear before the court for an initial pretrial conference on April 2nd. So 5 days from now, there will be some sort of pretrial conference in which they'll have to address some things. Plaintiff intends to notify the court on or before March 27th of his intention to file an amended complaint, which will be due April 16th. Okay? Now, he can submit it any time before April 16th if he so chooses, but he has until that date. Defendant's time to move to dismiss or answer is due 3 weeks after the filing of the amended complaint. So once Drake and his legal team get their shit submitted, they'll have 3 weeks to answer, and they could also file for dismissal once more. Should defendant move to dismiss the amended complaint, plaintiff's opposition is due 2 weeks after that motion is filed, and UMG's reply is due 1 week after plaintiff's opposition is filed. Okay, so Drake has approximately a little over 2 weeks to figure out if he, and I'm sure he will, file an amended complaint. UMG will then have 3 weeks to say their piece about that. Then Drake will have an additional 2 weeks to speak towards their motion to dismiss. And then a week later, UMG will have to reply. Okay? So I say we got about a month and some change, about a month and a half more of this back and forth before we can actually get to trial and figure out where this is going to go. Okay? Now, what is this? Any outstanding motions? So this is just giving you a history of the paperwork that's been submitted up to this point. As it pertains to discovery, this order requires a brief description of any discovery that's already taken place following the 26F conference. Plaintiff served on UMG a first set of requests for production. UMG has moved stay discovery pending disposition of his motion to dismiss, meaning that Drake and his legal team have tried to put the pressure on UMG to start giving them, documents of their request. UMG says something like, we don't want to file nothing because we're trying to get this thing dismissed, and we're not putting anything in the pot if there's still a possibility that we can get it tossed. Settlement. The order requires a brief description of any discovery that is necessary for the parties to engage in meaningful settlement negotiations, as well as a list of all prior settlement discussions, including the date, the parties involved, and the approximate duration of such discussions. If any, the parties agree that settlement discussions would not be productive at this time, so there is no talk of settlement. If any OV hoes or draconians out there speak on some form of settlement or that UMG has paid or will pay, they're lying. Okay? They say discovery necessary for meaningful settlement negotiations. Plaintiff believes that in order to engage in meaningful settlement negotiations, he needs discovery into the following. Once again, he wants to see Kendrick Lamar's contract with UMG. They've been refusing. They don't want to give them. That's privileged information. Are you going to share your contract with Kendrick? Documents and communications regarding the decision to publish the defamatory material. So he's going to want to see why, how all of this came to be concerning Not Like Us. And he wants to know who knew about the song prior to it dropping and who okayed it, so that he can say that this was, a pre-planned attack. Including documents and communications relating to UMG's recent promotional activities. He wants to see how they've been promoting it, the money that they've been spending on this song surrounding the Grammys and the Super Bowl, documents and communications regarding the decision to continue publishing and promote the defamatory material, documents and communications regarding UMG's knowledge that the allegations in the defamatory material, documents reflecting the revenues and profits. They want to see how much money Kendrick has generated for the label off this song and retained as a result of the song, and documents and communications relating to any other works in the past 5 years that UMG has declined to approve or greenlight on the basis of UMG objections to lyrics or other content. So this is a very key part that I don't think a lot of people are going to talk about. So Drake wants to see not only all of the communications between Kendrick and the label, he wants to see Kendrick's contract. He wants to see all of the promotional game plans that they've employed for this song, including the Grammys and the Super Bowl. But he also wants to see a record of how many artists they may have said no to. Because he's going to come to the table and say, if UMG was willing to say no to this artist for this song, this artist for this song, or however many artists they've done it to, why did they not object Kendrick Lamar? Why did they not put a halt to this before it came to be, when they have a history of possibly telling artists no? And this is why people have no respect for what he's doing, because they didn't tell you no. They didn't say that you couldn't drop anything. Even when you did the 100 gig shit, they said, you got to drop it over here. They didn't say you couldn't drop it. They said, oh, thanks for putting that up. Now put some of them shits on Spotify. Thanks for letting us know you got some new music. Appreciate it. Let's get this money. UMG does not believe that settlement discussions will be productive at this time and seeks to stay discovery, including the broad swaths of discovery identified by plaintiff above, pending disposition of his motion to dismiss. UMG, therefore, does not seek discovery at this time. They want to get this over with. Prior settlement discussions, parties' position in the months leading up to the filing of the complaint, various representatives of plaintiff and defendant discussed potentially mediating the dispute, but those discussions were unsuccessful, right? Because Drake reached out numerous times trying to get the song taken down. Use of alternative dispute resolution. The order requires a statement confirming that the parties have discussed the use of alternate dispute resolution mechanisms and indicating whether the parties believe that A, a settlement conference before a magistrate judge, B, participation in the district's mediation program, and or C, retention of a privately retained mediator would be appropriate, and if so, when in the case, within the next 60 days after the deposition of plaintiff is completed, after the close of fact discovery, etc., the use of such a mechanism would be appropriate. Parties' position. The parties have discussed the use of alternate dispute resolution mechanisms. The parties agree that alternate dispute resolution would not be appropriate at this time, so they say we're not looking for none of that. Both parties agree on that much. Okay. So here they say the parties were unable to reach a joint proposal for the civil case management plan and scheduling order. Defendant maintains that all discovery should be stayed and pending the resolution of the motion to dismiss. As outlined in his opposition to defendant's motion to stay discovery, plaintiff believes discovery should proceed in the normal course. Attached as Exhibit 1 is a civil case management plan and scheduling order reflecting each of the parties' positions, dated March 26th. This all went through yesterday. Okay. Here we have Drake's legal team writing to the judge. They say, Dear Judge Vargas, Plaintiff Aubrey Drake Graham respectfully writes, pursuant to the court's order, ECF number 28 and Rule 5.1 of the court's individual rules and practices in civil case, to notify the court that he intends to file an amended complaint by no later than April 16th, 2025. So he has agreed that he will, in fact, submit an amended complaint no later than April 16th. So within the next couple weeks, you can already go ahead and book it. We're going to come on here and talk about an all new version or all new draft of Drake's lawsuit, right? Because an amended complaint means that there's going to be some level of changes. Now, what changes will be submitted? I don't know. I can't predict. Remember, UMG claims that they had an agreement that he would remove talk of the bots. Excuse me. But I feel like if that was the case, the bot talk wouldn't have been in that document that we just read. So it's going to be very interesting to see what gets added or taken out of Drake's complaint. I'm kind of thinking he finna add some old bullshit to it, because every turn that we've gone in this conversation, he's only become more defiant. He's only added more ridiculous claims. So I wouldn't be surprised in the weeks that have transpired since the Grammys, the Super Bowl, possible talk of Kendrick Lamar being a part of the Olympics, all of that different type of stuff. The tour coming up, I think that even is going to play into it. Like the fact that he's about to go on a world tour and possibly perform Not Like Us on stage in stadiums. I think that could also end up being a part of the material in his next round of complaints. Because remember, Kendrick Lamar's Grand National Tour kicks off in the next couple weeks. He has until April 16th to submit his complaint, which by then the tour will be active. So it's going to be very interesting to see where this motherfucker go from here. I don't necessarily see UMG's motion to dismiss being successful. I feel like if it was going to be successful, it would have been by now. It seems that Judge Vargas is still waiting for something compelling to say, we'll dismiss this. And to be honest, I think the judge wants to push this out and make this a full-on trial. I think this is actually a very important moment in music, not because I think Drake is in the right by any means, but I think that this is going to be something that's talked about for years, especially if it doesn't go his way, or even if it does, which I don't believe it will. Either way it goes, this is going to be a very big moment in music history, because we've never seen a nigga go out this sad in any, fathomable depiction of our imagination. We've never seen nobody go out like this. You egg on a rap battle, you lose that motherfucker, then you sue. You say I'm not suing the artist, but then all of your complaints are based on the artist, but you're suing the label. It's like, this is literally like high school or any level of schooling, as far as like elementary, middle, high school, where two students get into a fight, somebody gonna lose the fight, and then the parent of the winner gets penalized, and it's you're being penalized for the actions of your child. He beat me up, therefore I'm pressing charges on you and your family. You know what I'm saying? We gonna need everybody to come to the principal office. What's going on at home that made him so strong? to beat his ass up. Tried to call his rich baby daddy, as Kanye called him. Lucian said, "Get the fuck out my office. What are these emails? Oh, you thought you was still the nigga, huh? You thought you was still the man. You thought you was still the boy. It's the reason why we called you that. Fuck out of here." But let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one, and I will certainly catch y'all when the next round of paperwork gets submitted to the courts in this case. All right? Much love and respect, y'all. Peace. King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they died of me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross some out, came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.